I'm Stephen IT, and today we're going to be setting up our prerequisite environment for the network forensics series that I'm starting off. We're going to be doing pretty much everything in ParrotOS, and Parrot is a flavor of Debian, similar to Kali, if you're familiar with Kali, the cybersecurity focused Linux OS. We're using Parrot because pretty much everything we need is either built in or easy to add. So we're going to walk through this process. I'm going to be deploying this on my lab's ESXi host, but you can do this in any hypervisor. It will just benefit you if you have control over that hypervisor's networking. So if you have an old version of VMware Player that doesn't allow you to work with the interfaces in any way, it just nats the networking of the guests on your computer to the greater host, where you can't control any of the IP addressing or anything like that, at least at the network level, then that's not ideal. You'll be able to do a lot of it, but you won't get that same level of control. But if you want to do this in ESXi or Hyper-V or VirtualBox, most of the tools we're going to use are on the VM itself. So it really doesn't matter. Let's walk through this process on ESXi, and then you can tailor it to whatever host you want to deploy it on. So first and foremost, we're going to go to parrotsec.org. You can see that up here in the top. And then we're going to go to download. If you have the skill set to administer whatever host you want to run, you can click virtual and then security and then pick your processor platform. And it'll let you grab the VMDK for VMware or the OVA for VirtualBox. I'm going to walk through this from the ISO because pretty much anyone can take that to any platform. You could technically even do this on a laptop, and for that you'd need to burn the ISO. So to get that ISO, we're going to click download and then live and then security. AMD 64, they don't have one for ARM. And then we're going to click download, and that's going to download the ISO. I'm not going to download the ISO again because I have a fresh copy, and I've already loaded it up into my lab. This is my lab ESXi host. It's running, I think, vanilla ESXi 7.0. I'll get around to updating it at some point, maybe. And there are a bunch of other tools that I use for cybersecurity related stuff and network performance monitoring stuff in my professional development. Although more than anything, I leave the entire Dell PowerEdge server turned off. So in ESXi, we're going to hit create VM, and then we're going to do create a new virtual machine that's required for ISO deployments. I've already walked through this menu once, so a lot of this is going to be filled out. We're going to create new virtual machine, hit next. I'm naming this Iago because it's ParrotOS, a little Aladdin reference. Throw it on to anywhere you've got enough storage. I like to give 50 gigs to anything that I'm may develop on. In this machine, I'm giving 4 CPUs, 4 gigs of memory, and like I said, a 50 gig hard disk. And then I'm also adding an extra interface. That's for my own use. You only need one interface. This just gives me some additional workflows that not everyone is going to need to play with. Then under CD DVD drive, you're going to select data store ISO file. That's going to give you a prompt to select the ISO that you've uploaded for Parrot, but I'll just show you that here on mine real quick. So I've got Parrot right there. And then we're ready to complete. Review your settings, see if there's anything you need to change, and hit finish, and it's going to spin that guy up. Now we're going to power on this new VM and open up the console. I'm going to be doing this through VMware Workstation, but you can do this through the browser console. The installer is going to take us into a live desktop. This is not the full install. We do still need to install ParrotOS, which we're going to do here under Install Debian. And that's going to take us through the more traditional install prompt like you're probably used to seeing for installing Ubuntu or something like that. When you get to the disk, we're going to click Erase Disk. And then in here, you're going to put in your details. When prompted, click Install and Install Now. And then this is a great time to go grab a cup of coffee. All right. After the install finishes, you'll reboot the virtual machine and log in with the credentials you gave it during the install prompt. And that'll bring you here to the Parrot desktop. Parrot is full-featured like Ubuntu or Kali, if you're more familiar with Kali as the cybersecurity flavored kind of Linux of choice out there. But real quick, we'll glance at just a couple of tools. The main things we're going to be using are Wireshark, which we can see in under pen testing, sniffing and spoofing, and then Wireshark. And right next to it, Scapy. Wireshark is a tool that lets you look at packets, and Scapy is a tool that lets you make packets. So they kind of go hand in hand. We may look at some other tools. There are so many spoofing tools built into Parrot. You'll see a lot of these in Kali out of the box too. But there are a lot of fun tools in here. I look forward to digging into all of these with you. And if you're going to follow along, the next video will be on layer 1 forensics, which is something people don't really think about very much. It's the physical layer of the network, the actual port and wire itself. So if you want to follow along, like this video and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.